am so glad you are here. It's Herby Thursday. We're talking about Calendula, the classic, the beautiful, the sunshiny, quite frankly. This is traditionally thought of as being associated with the sun and with fire, kind of an obvious connection, I think, and with masculine energies. So should you avoid this herb if you're not masculine in your perceptions? Not at all. We all have a touch of feminine in us. We all have a touch of masculine in us. Embrace all of you and grab yourself some delicious, fabulous calendula. Now, this has been used as a food, I should mention. There are writings that claiming that early Europeans in North America would put it in their autumn soups as a way of warding off colds and flus. Now, there are some nutritional assays that suggest that that might have been a really good idea for them because they might have been a little short on some of the nutrients that this herb can provide. And that might have made all the difference for some of those folks. But on a more magical point of view, it is about letting the sun shine through. It really is. So, whether you're going to have a little tea so you can see the world around you more clearly, more better vision, magically, which means enjoy a cup during twilight on some nice warm evening. It's not warm right now where I am. In fact, we're in a big polar freeze. But imagine yourself sitting there on a delightful evening, sipping your calendula tea, and suddenly being able to see all the little people out in the yard. I don't mean my Irish ancestors, I mean the Fae, just to be clear. Grandma, it's okay, Grandma, wherever you are. This is also, and I do have a cheat sheet here, by the way, just to keep me on point. It's also used in other forms of divination, but because it's also such a wonderful sort of sunshiny herb, it's used to blast out any negative energies. So people bathe in it. They will make an infused oil and wear the infused oil. Infused oil, did I say something that's a little confusing for a few of you? Infused oil's super easy. The best way is the slow way. You bury that herb under oil. It has to go all the way under the surface of the oil. Anything that sticks out, that can mold. That will ruin your batch. Get it down into the oil. The other way, and I'm going to make some people shudder, and I apologize, but if you're in a rush and you know you need this in an oil right now, grab your oil, heat it up until you see the first wisp of smoke, turn the heat off, gently stir in your herbs. That oil's hot, no splashes, right? And let it sit till it's cold. So give it 30 minutes. Strain the oil, and now you have a delightful infused oil. Shelf life is not as good because you heated up that oil, but you've also added one more element of fire to what is a fiery herb. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. Oh, where else does this get used? I got to get back on track. Sorry. So it's used for remembering people and places that have gone from your life. So if you're actively in mourning for a loved one who's passed or a stage of your life that is over, this is a great herb to work with. But it's also used on anniversaries of things we want to commemorate. So it's not a bad idea to grab this herb just for those occasions. It's considered protective enough to belong in wreaths, garlands, decorations that go over doors to keep negative energy from entering a room or a home, whether that's on the inside so you can see it as the resident, or on the outside so that you're letting people know from the outset you're not tolerating negative energy. That's up to you. There are a million and one ways to use these beauties, but calendula absolutely is used for opening up psychic abilities. You could sleep on it in a dream pillow. It would actually make a pretty decent pillow, I have to admit. Scatter it underneath where you sleep, under the mattress, or just under the bed if you know you're going to be cleaning it up again later. That's the easiest place to put it, especially if you have hardwood floors or some sort of hard surface you just need to sweep. Then it's fabulous. Tougher if it's going on carpet, unless you've got like a Roomba or some other robotic vacuum. Little tiny pedals. Super, super cheap in some ways to get because the mass is very low on this herb, which means, think back to your 8th grade science, right? When you buy an ounce, you're getting a big bag because the volume the weight takes up is going to be pretty big because the mass for this herb is relatively low compared to other herbs. Whereas if you buy an ounce of valerian root, it's going to be at the bottom of a little bag. You buy calendula, that bag's going to be full, and it's going to be a one size up for us here at the shop. Anyway, I'm a little over my time, so have a great day. Embrace the wonderful, fun sunshine of calendula, and just remember, this is Liz at Megas Books and Herbs in Minneapolis at megasbooks.com. Wishing you a wonderful week. We will see you soon. Take care, and look to one of our Wednesday lives where I might monopolize the whole thing to talk about some controversial herb subjects that have been coming up lately due to new laws that have been coming into play for some folks here in the USA. With that, blessed be.